The rumble in the roots. Who is sleeping under the garden? Chapter 1. The wobbly watermelons. The Sunny Patch Garden was usually the most peaceful place in the world. It belonged to an old gardener named Mr. McGregor, a kind version, not the scary one, who grew the biggest pumpkins and the reddest strawberries. Living in this garden was a white rabbit named Daisy. Daisy had ears that were very long and very sensitive. She could hear a dewdrop falling on a leaf. She could hear a caterpillar munching on lettuce 3 rows away. But lately, Daisy was hearing something else. Something loud. It started on a Tuesday evening. Daisy was sitting near the watermelon patch, munching on a piece of clover. Suddenly, the ground beneath her paws began to tremble. Vvvrrummm. Daisy's ears stood straight up. "Is that thunder?" she whispered. She looked up. The sky was clear and starry. Then came the second sound. Kazoo. It sounded like a giant balloon deflating, or maybe a very large tuba being played underwater. The vibration was so strong that the big round watermelons sitting on the dirt began to wobble. They rolled a little to the left, then they rolled a little to the right. Wiggle, wobble, wiggle. Daisy hopped over to her friend, Barnaby the mole, who was popping his head out of a fresh dirt mound. Barnaby wore thick glasses because his eyesight was terrible, but his sense of touch was excellent. "Barnaby!" Daisy cried. "Did you feel that?" Barnaby adjusted his glasses. "Feel it? My dear Daisy, my tea set just rattled off the shelf down in my burrow. It feels like the earth is giggling." "It's not giggling," Daisy said, her nose twitching. "It's a rhythm. Listen. Vvvrrummm. Pause. Kazoo. Pause. It sounds like..." Sleeping, Barnaby realized. Someone is sleeping under the garden, and they are sleeping very hard. But who is big enough to shake a watermelon? Daisy asked. Is it a dragon? Is it a dinosaur? There is only one way to find out, Barnaby said bravely, though his whiskers were trembling. We have to go down into the deep dirt. We have to find the source of the snore. Chapter 2. The expedition team. Going into the deep dirt was a serious adventure. Daisy and Barnaby knew they needed a team. First, they recruited Sir Hoot, the tiny scops owl who lived in the hollow of the apple tree. Sir Hoot was nocturnal, so he was wide awake. I shall be your eyes, Sir Hoot declared, flying down to land on Daisy's shoulder. I have heard the rumble too. It frightened the moths away, and now I have no snacks. Next, they found Slippy the earthworm. Slippy didn't say much, but he knew every tunnel, every root, and every rock in the garden. He would be their guide. The sound comes from below the ancient oak roots. Slippy pointed with his tail. Deep, very deep. Past the potato layer, past the fossil layer. Let's pack supplies, Daisy said. She packed 3 carrots, for snacks, a ball of string, so they wouldn't get lost, and a fluffy dandelion seed in case they needed something soft. They gathered at the entrance of Barnaby's tunnel. The snoring sound was louder here. Vvvrrummm. A pebble bounced on the ground. Ready? Daisy asked. Ready? Said the team. They descended into the dark. But it wasn't a scary dark. As they went deeper, the tunnel walls began to glow. They were passing through the layer of glowworms and moon mushrooms. The dirt smelled rich and chocolatey, like a freshly baked brownie. Down, down, down they went. They passed the sleeping beetles in their bunk beds. They passed the library of the field mice, carved into the roots of a bush. Everyone they passed looked tired. We can't sleep, complained a family of crickets. Every time we doze off, the floor shakes. Don't worry, Daisy promised. We are going to fix it. Chapter 3. The Hall of Roots. The lower they went, the bigger the roots became. Near the surface, roots were like thin strings. But down here, under the ancient oak, the roots were like giant wooden pillars holding up the ceiling. It looked like a grand cathedral made of wood and earth. The snoring was now deafening. Vvvrrummm. Dust fell from the ceiling every time the sound hit. We must be close, shouted Sir Hoot over the noise. Slippy the earthworm stopped in front of a massive door. It wasn't a wooden door. It was made of woven vines and packed mud. And it was huge. It was round, like the door of a hobbit house, but much bigger. On the door, there was a sign carved into a flat rock. It read, "The Wombat Cave. Please do not disturb." Hibernating, sort of. A wombat? Daisy blinked. But we are in a garden. Wombats live in Australia, or in zoos. What is a wombat doing here? Barnaby pushed his glasses up. Maybe he took a wrong turn at the equator? Wombats are excellent diggers. He could have dug all the way here. Daisy put her ear to the door. Hazoo. The door vibrated against her ear. It tickled. "He's in there," Daisy said. "We have to go in. But we must be careful. If we wake him up suddenly, he might be grumpy." Barnaby pushed the heavy door. Creak. It swung open. The team stepped inside, and their jaws dropped. They were expecting a dark, messy cave. But this was a palace. The walls were lined with smooth, shiny stones. There were shelves filled with jars of preserved roots and dried berries. The floor was covered in soft, thick moss that felt like velvet. And in the middle of the room, lying on a giant bed made of dried ferns and lavender flowers, was the source of the noise. It was Walter. He was a wombat. He was round. He was furry. He looked like a giant teddy bear made of brown dough, and he was fast asleep. But the strangest thing wasn't the snoring. It was what happened when he snored. Chapter 4. The Bubble Mystery. Daisy crept closer. Walter lay on his back, his paws resting on his tummy. He took a deep breath in. Then he breathed out with a snore. Kazoo! As the sound came out of his nose, a bubble formed. But it wasn't a soap bubble. It was a glowing, pink, magical bubble. The bubble grew bigger and bigger until it was the size of a beach ball. Inside the bubble, moving pictures appeared. "Look!" whispered Sir Hoot. "It's a dream! He's blowing dream bubbles." The team watched the bubble floating above Walter's nose. Inside the bubble, they saw a moving image of Walter running through a field of giant turnips. He looked happy. He was chasing a butterfly. The bubble floated up towards the ceiling of the cave. It bumped into a root. Pop! The sound of the pop was incredibly loud. It echoed through the tunnels. Boom! The ground shook. Up in the garden, the watermelons probably rolled over. "Aha!" Barnaby whispered. "It's not the snore that shakes the ground. It's the popping dreams. His dreams are too loud." Walter shifted in his sleep. He frowned. He inhaled again. He exhaled. Snort! A new bubble formed. This one was jagged and blue. Inside this bubble, Walter was being chased by a vacuum cleaner. He looked scared. He was running fast. The bubble grew huge and wobbled violently. It floated up and hit the ceiling. K-bang! Dirt rained down on Daisy's head. "Oh dear," Daisy said. "He's having a nightmare. That was a very heavy dream. No wonder the garden is shaking. We have to wake him up," Sir Hoot suggested. "No," Barnaby said. "If you wake a wombat from a nightmare, he might think you are the vacuum cleaner. We have to. We have to change the dream." "How?" asked Slippy. Daisy looked at the giant, sleeping wombat. She looked at his twitching nose. She looked at the next bubble starting to form. "We need to soothe him," Daisy said. "We need to give him a sweet dream, a quiet dream, a floaty dream." Daisy pulled the dandelion seed out of her bag. "Slippy, Barnaby, help me tickle his nose with this." "Sir Hoot, you have a beautiful voice. Sing him a lullaby." Chapter 5. The Sweetest Melody. The plan was set. Daisy, Barnaby, and Slippy climbed onto the edge of the mossy bed. They reached out with the fluffy dandelion seed. Sir Hoot puffed up his chest feathers and began to hoot a soft, low melody. Hoom! Hoom! Sleepy deep, sleep deep. Daisy gently brushed the dandelion seed against Walter's nose. Walter twitched. His frown relaxed. The scary blue bubble that was forming paused. It swirled. The color changed from angry blue to a soft pastel lilac. Sir Hoot continued to sing. It was a song about moonlight and slow rivers and endless fields of soft grass. The roots are warm. The earth is still. Sleep now, beneath the hill. Walter sighed. A long, happy sigh. The bubble detached from his nose. But this time, it didn't shoot up like a rocket. It floated gently, like a feather. Inside the lilac bubble, the team saw a new dream. Walter was floating on a cloud. He was eating a marshmallow. He wasn't running. He wasn't chasing. He was just drifting. The bubble rose slowly. It touched the ceiling. But instead of pop and boom, it made a sound like a tiny bell. Ting. And then it dissolved into a sprinkle of glitter. The ground did not shake. The cave did not rumble. Walter rolled over onto his side, curling into a ball. His breathing became quiet. He, sh, he, sh. It worked, Barnaby whispered. He's in a deep sleep now. No more popping bubbles. Daisy smiled. She placed the dandelion seed next to Walter's paw like a teddy bear. He just needed to know he was safe, she said. The team quietly tiptoed out of the Wombat cave. They closed the heavy vine door gently behind them. Click. The climb back up to the surface felt much faster. They passed the crickets, who were finally snoring peacefully. They passed the field mice, who were tucked in their beds. When they popped out of Barnaby's tunnel into the sunny patch garden, the sun was just starting to rise. The sky was painting itself pink and gold. Daisy looked at the watermelons. They were perfectly still. The tulips were standing straight. We did it, Sir Hoot yawned, finding a branch to perch on. Good night, team. Or rather, good morning. Daisy hopped back to her own burrow under the rhubarb leaf. She was tired, but her heart was happy. She pressed her ear to the ground one last time. Deep, deep down, she heard a faint, gentle rhythm. Shh, shh, ting. It was the sound of a happy wombat having the sweetest dream of all. And finally, the garden slept.